Hi guys, today we're going to talk about rugging and getting rugged and some tips for how you can avoid it. Essentially some sound advice. I was kind of inspired by seeing this on Twitter today. There's a report, a sort of brief report here with a case study of a recent rug of Infinity DAO. And it's here. I'll share it, put it down in the notes as well on the video, and I'll be going through the basics on this in this video. There's been some high-profile rugs recently, and it's a topic I definitely feel a lot of people are interested in. So the first point I want to make about this, based on this document here with rug.wiki, there's different types of rugs, and it's not just black and white, right? It's not just that a project either rugs or it's legit, right? And there's nothing in between. There's lots in between, actually. There's lots of different scenarios, right? You can get a hard rug, you can get a soft rug, you can have a contract exploit, and your project can just fail as well, right? There's different. These are 4 different scenarios, I think, that we want to talk about here, right? So hard rug, I don't need to explain that. I think that's the one that everyone's fixating on right now and getting super scared about. But actually, there's also a soft rug, right? A soft rug. Soft rugs, they're harder to identify. They often happen after a solid form of trust has been built between the developers and the investors. The developers have a large amount of tokens in different wallets that they can sell for a profit after the price increases, resulting in major losses for investors. So basically, the devs dump on the investors later on, right? They sell their large amounts of tokens onto the market, and it erodes the value of the tokens that are held by the investors. And this could happen anytime, really. And so this is much more difficult to detect, and it's also could happen much later. And if they do it slowly, you might even not be able to tell. It'd be quite difficult to tell. And then there's contract exploits as well, right? So that's smart contract risk, where there's an exploit, it gets hacked, and that could lead you to a major loss. And then there's projects that just fail, right? Over time, they just basically aren't very successful. The amount of value in the contract is really low, and it stays low, and it's not getting attention, and nobody's using it. And so that's a very likely scenario, actually. I think failure of projects is very common, and investing in these super early stage startups, you need to have an angel investing mindset, right? Or a venture capitalist mindset, where you need to spread your risk through many different projects and expect most of them to fail and only a few of them to success. But the ones that succeed should get outsized returns, which overall for your portfolio means that you get a very good return. So yeah, that means that you definitely want to spread your risk when you're doing this. Like if you go all in on something that's a very early stage project, that's so risky, so risky. No serious investor would do that, I think. So yeah, here's some information about the recent Olympus DAO rugs that have gone on, just some of them. The one that most people know of is this Anubis DAO one, which was 61 million. So that's the biggest rug so far. But the one we're going to focus on is this Infinity DAO one in this case study we've got here, which happened about 10 days ago now. And it was relatively small, 25,000. In this case study, they say it's 100,000. So I'm not sure which one, but anyway, it's in that ballpark. As you can see here, the main dev claimed he was planning to dox himself, but posted a fake AI generated photo before the rug. Yeah, so that was this. So that was one of the red flags there, that they in the Discord, when the dev posted a picture of himself to sort of say, hey, like you can trust me, this is who I am. It worked out actually this was an AI generated face. And when they posted that in the Discord, it was later deleted. So that obviously is a red flag, but quite difficult to capture that actually, unless you're really paying attention in the Discord, because even though he tweeted it later, it didn't get that much engagement. And then it's not just this list of rugs as well. Like recently, Santa DAO rugged as well. So it's more than just this. But anyway, let's get into the Affinity DAO rugging overview. I'll just skip the beginning part because it's just lining up some basics and just get in here into the initial red flags. And red flag 1, very short time between the Twitter launch and the token presale. So yeah, if it's really, really short time between them opening the Twitter, which is the first thing you'll do, right? Like to announce the project to the world would be opening the Twitter. That's also good because on Twitters, you can see when they're launched quite easily, right? Just on the page here, for example, the alpha only Twitter here, you can see that I launched it last month and already we have 1,000 followers. And so thank you to all of the followers, by the way. You're still very early. I think the account can grow a lot more, hopefully. But that gives us a date there to mark the Twitter launch. And so you can, when they do start to do this token pre-sale, you can see, how long it's been. Website and docs are very basic and short. Yeah, so this is the website. It's still up for Infinity DAO. And as someone who I think I kind of got the basics on design, I feel like to me, this is very basic design. And I consider this to be a piece of shit website, basically. I think anyone could make this in like a day or less. This logo is very basic and crap, really. It's very generic. It's just so this website's very, very generic. And then it's got things like this. I don't know what that is. That's to me is like inconsistent theming, basically. So for me, this is a red flag. Having said that, you do get projects where devs are just very good at software development and they're terrible at design and they've got no design sensibility. And the sites, when you go on them, they're just super basic. And so this is just one factor of many, right? I wouldn't place too much weight on this. It's just one thing in the mix. The docs as well. So I've got those up here. So this is the Infinity DAO documents. And yeah, they are short, they are basic. And in places also, they have poor English, right? So down here in conclusion, Infinity's goal is to bring DeFi 2.0 to masses, right? It should be to the masses, right? Binance Smart Chain is reputed to be the most casual chain, but in our wish to educate as much people as possible about own forks revolution, we think it's the right place to be. So it's a bit convoluted in how they've, that sentence structure, I think. And then also, they do reference here, I want to talk about this. Binance Smart Chain is reputed to be the most casual chain, right? So that's a polite way of saying that, Binance Smart Chain has the most rugs on it. I think that's kind of undeniable. I think that the numbers speak for themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm bearish about Binance Smart Chain. I'll make it clear I'm actually very bullish about Binance and Binance Smart Chain, but definitely it's the riskiest chain for rugs. And so if the project you're looking to invest in is on that chain, there is an extra layer of due diligence that you probably should be doing, I think. Now, what else they got? Yeah, poor English down here. They go in some Twitter analysis here. Basically, yeah, there were some people supporting the project. There were some positive comments. There were also some scam warnings. So it was a mixture, which you kind of expect for early stage projects. Like you're going to get some people shilling it, right? And you can see from here, these people are shilling it because they, It's very common for projects to reward people that retweet around them. And so, yeah, you're going to get that. And you can see these are obvious retweets, and because they've got these ats, and then these dollar ticker sign here. So like, that's a very typical thing that you see on the end of like promotional tweets. So these are clearly like promotional tweets in order to sort of like get an allocation or get in on the whitelist. Yeah, from like small accounts like this. So yeah, that's to be expected, I guess. But then you do see scam alert as well. So yeah, but this could just be FUD. This could just be FUD. It's difficult to say whether that's actually worth paying attention to. Just because someone said scam alert, that doesn't, to me, that can happen on legit projects as well. So yeah, be careful with that. This is a huge red flag down here, that they suddenly changed from a whitelist private sale to a public sale, right, at the last minute. And they changed the amount of tokens, and they changed the price all at the last minute. So that's huge, right? So definitely, if you're seeing big changes to how the launch is happening relatively late in the game, that shows poor planning. It shows that it's sketchy. It's a huge red flag, huge red flag. So then it's got down here, key takeaways, right? It's like, always read the docs before investing in a pre-sale, right? The Infinity docs were brief and had surface level detail. Be active in the Discord. Now, this is time consuming. I'll admit this, like, of course you want to be active in the Discord, right? But that does take time, and time is money. So I can understand how, a lot of people don't have time for this. But if you are worried about it, it is one of the best ways to check a project out, especially if you're not technical. And if you go in a Discord like this, like, you can just use the search function up here to search for key phrases, right? You could search for rug, you could search for scam, and find immediately, has anyone mentioned that in this Discord, right? That would be a quick way to find things. Also, you want to look for things like in the announcements, like, was there an AMA, right? For this particular project, Anime DAO, that I'm looking at recently, which is also an Olympus DAO fork that I'm considering to invest in. I haven't made my mind up yet, but they just recently did an AMA in the voice down here. So for me, that's a good sign. That's positive, because I was listening in on it. I briefed very briefly, again, like, time is money, so I don't want to spend too much. I can't spend too much time on it, but I can go in there and, like, I can hear someone who's saying that they're the dev talking, and they, I can listen to them for 5 minutes and get some feeling of, like, okay, do I like what I'm hearing? But the very fact that they're offering that is a good sign, right? And maybe there might be a Q&A session, right? Like recently for Kepler DAO, they had a Q&A session. And that was a good sign for me. Now, does that mean that, it's just one factor of many, right? But it's a positive. You could also go in, and after a project's launched, if you're concerned about the project, like here with Snowbank, you can actually check the contract. So a way to do that would be from here, like you go in and buy on Trader Joe, you go into Trader Joe, Snowbank, okay, you can view it on Snowtrace. Snowtrace is the equivalent of ETHScan, and you can look at the holders here and all of the data around the smart contracts here. But you do need some technical knowledge in order to assess this, which I won't go into in this video, but I probably will cover it on a later video. But this is another way to check things out. But of course, you can only do this after the launch, right? Yeah, so I'll stop it here for this. I think we've got enough there, talked enough. Just want to give you some basics of how to check for rugs, and yeah, Okay, like and subscribe and all that jazz, and follow on Twitter, get in the Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.